think that was a glitch we just had. So let's get that was part one. This is gonna be part two. Let me get Kozen here. All right. That was a strange glitch, but we're back. We're
Yeah,
back.
I don't know what happened. Did your
Yeah.
Instagram drop too, or
Yeah, it just said the video ended. That was
yeah,
strange. Yeah, I've
yeah,
never
yeah,
had
yeah,
that
yeah.
before.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that will be part one. So part two. So you were saying on you were looking up videos of Electric Boogie. What was the first video you saw? What was
Yeah. Oh yeah. The first video that I was able to find was by Hee Jun, from Korea.
Ah, yes. Yep.
Yeah, it was one of the very first video that I remember, you know, like
Wow.
finding, and it was really low quality, and but it was like a snippet, like a little snippet from a music video, like from an artist, or something.
Yeah.
And it was really, for me, it was like, wow, like so dope to see that. And I didn't even know his name was Nam Hee Jun later, like many years later. I remember, I just, I didn't put the two together.
Right.
And also I found a few video clips of Mr. Wiggles,
Okay.
the old ones where, when he was in the cipher at, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
Long Beach or something,
Okay.
and some of him at rave parties and stuff like that, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
And those were really, really inspiring to, like, I think those two were one of the first bigger inspirations, and especially I think because I couldn't find a lot from Nam Hee Jun, so I found more from Mr. Wiggles at one point,
Okay.
and then he became like really inspirational for me,
Okay.
for what I could find online at that point. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Got you. So when did you start going to, let's say, events or starting to meet other people that are in the community, and when was that experience? I appreciate
Um,
that, Zachariah. Appreciate the love. Hope you're well, friend. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I didn't actually. I think the first 2 years, I literally just, was in a room and then just exploring videos and dancing a little bit. So I wouldn't even say I was really, really like, all in it, like it was just gradually getting into it. And I remember I got in touch with some b-boys in my city,
Hmm.
and and they, went to some battles that were
Hmm.
starting to come up, and eventually I joined them. We became a crew, and it was called True Skills. It was a really bad name, but
What was it called? Can we say that again?
True Skills with a
True
Z,
skills.
and yeah.
True skills. True skills. True skills?
Yeah,
True skills.
yeah, True Skills, yeah.
Gotcha.
And it was actually, that's the, I don't know if you know, another b-boy crew called the Ruggeds.
I've heard of
They
them.
were,
Yes.
yeah. So there was like some of the crew members from the True Skills merged with another crew later on, and that became the Ruggeds, or actually initially the Rugged Solutions. So I was actually in the previous crew of that, sort of.
Okay.
And I
God.
was, yeah, and I tried a little bit breaking too for
Okay.
just a few months, but I got injured, and then I got back to popping again because it was
Okay.
still
Right.
my first love.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay.
And that was the first time I started to go to some breaking battles, some b-boy battles.
Mhm.
And then there was literally in the era that, I was the one popper slash, I did some
Right.
fake version, like really watered down version of some popping, and
Okay.
some
Okay.
locking, and and I was the one, and I taught a little bit to my friend at that
Mm.
point, and we were the two, stand-up dancers or the pop lockers, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And we joined those battles against other
Oh.
breaking crews, So, and then at that point, breaking was really hype, becoming really hype in the
Mhm.
Netherlands. It was an era that there was so many crews in Netherlands, breakers,
Okay.
and that's why breaking is actually quite strong in the Netherlands because
Uh,
of the era.
I
So I think there was more than hundreds crews. There was so many crews
wow.
in a very small country.
Wow.
So and it got just so hype, and there was so many really really good high level crews that came from that, like Hustle Kids, Extraordinary Gentlemen. Like these are some bigger names, but also so many other crews that were
Is this
born. Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Is this still like this? Is it even more? What is the current state of the B-boy breaking scene in the Netherlands?
From what I know, again, so I cannot, I don't have the full scope of awareness regarding that, but the number of b boys or crews definitely declined since then. There was definitely like a burst like in
Hmm.
growth, in that era, in that time, and then since then it definitely declined a lot, but it's still steady right now. It's still very steady. It's still a lot of new generations coming,
Hmm.
but yeah, and there's still a lot of b-boys and like b-girls,
Okay.
also really good b-girls. We got crazy good b-girls too,
Hmm.
and but it definitely is not like that time.
I see.
That time
Okay.
was like it's like originally like skyrocketed during that period, but
Okay.
it's definitely still strong in Netherlands. Yeah, there's still because the b boys and b girls from that era, they are still teaching. They are still active, and so they are still passing on
I see.
and building the legacy. So
Hmm.
and these be and yeah, and definitely crews like the Ruggeds, they are still active very much,
Hmm.
and they still get new people on board, but it's not that like that time. It's not like that time. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Coming back to your
yeah,
your experience, now you are like you're the pop locker of the groups and such. Were you
yeah.
also going to school and having what was, I guess, when it came to school or career wise, were you in another as like outside of dance, or what was that like for you as well?
Oh, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was still studying actually at that time. I was just going to uni. I studied industrial design at the
Okay.
Technical University of Eindhoven, and it was just before actually I went to the uni. So 3 years before I started going to the university, I was doing this, exploring this, dancing, and then I did a few battles, and then there was like I felt like I kind of felt like, well, because there was not at that point there were no battles specifically for poppers or
Okay.
for the stand up. I would say there was
Right.
only this breaking, and at one point I just felt okay, it's really not it. I was like demotivated at one point,
Okay.
and also I started becoming like preparing for this university. And then when I started actually with the university, I totally dropped dancing like fully, and then I went full on with studying that education,
Hmm.
and then I literally, because that education that I did it wasn't like, the college format that you go to, these
Okay.
lectures. It had a very pragmatic approach. So
Hmm.
all the projects that we had there and assignments, we had real clients that they got on board at
Nice.
university. And then we really had to develop and, come up with different types of solutions for those projects. So and that one really sparked me a lot. So I became obsessed with the education, and it
Oh,
was, normal people maybe spend 40 hours. I spent at least 60 hours every week just grinding on those projects.
wow.
Really, it was like really obsessing. I just loved it so much to create stuff. That's basically, yeah. That was just
Can can you
the
can you give me an example of some of the work you were doing, or can you like of this world of yeah? I'm not
yeah.
familiar with this world.
Yeah, it's super dope because now you see so many products coming out from that era that we were actually, because it was almost like more than 20 years ago, right? It was like the most easy way I would explain it is like future products, kind of
Future
like,
product, huh?
yeah, let's say we need to redesign, um, you know, uh, uh, what is it, washing machine, whatever, right? But then you need to think about what is the interaction mode. Can you set, the parameters, like, for example, the speed, the temperature, and the duration, but in a different manner, instead
Wow.
of like a touch button. You need to, think of a new interactive input method, right?
Wow.
And then this was one of the assignments. And then I came up with a crazy prototype, and we need to always make working prototypes. So everything was working prototype. So
Wow.
we
That's
had to literally use electronics. Some of it, I literally have a box here with all my, what is it? Like,
like uh-huh.
soldering and stuff, like literally soldering
Wow.
things ourselves. And we had to create buttons, like anything that we needed. Like, so we had so many projects, like literally, the first things that come to mind, we had a Lego project that we need to create a Lego to, to kind of battle against other Legos. And
What?
also I'm programming these Legos, and
What?
then
That's crazy.
just like this kind of products. And like we had to redesign a mouse, instead of a
Oh,
normal computer
yeah.
mouse. We had to redesign it, but on a 3D mouse
Wow.
for 3D CAD programs, like, so this is just, and my graduation project actually, which it's very interesting, I think. For my bachelor, because I did bachelor and master, my graduation project for my bachelor, I developed, actually for my master, sorry, I messed up. For my master project, I developed a dance tool, actually, a musicality tool for dancers. And it's literally a wearable with sensors, with kinetic like sensors, and then yeah, and literally made a really crazy thing that I actually still want to pursue, but I've been caught by other projects, of course, with Kozen. But
Uh-huh.
it's still something back on my shelf, kind of, like metaphorically speaking,
Yes.
that I wanted to, yeah, further develop, because I stumbled upon something that was really interesting, that I could measure, musicality. Not necessarily measure, but I could emphasize certain elements in the music without, without literally disturbing the character of the music. Anyway, I cannot go on too deep about it, but because otherwise I would, you know, I would, yeah, I would, yeah, it's kind of, how would I say it? It's kind of a special thing. I cannot, just give it away.
You want to bring to life. You want to bring it to life because, like
Yeah.
we say, right? Like it's something that's, uh, uh, it's kind of confidential, copyright. It's kind
Yes.
of
Yes. Yes.
it's your material and your idea, and you want to bring it to life. And if you,
Yeah.
what you're saying, if you share too much, someone may bring it into. They
Yeah.
may,
I need to be
yeah,
careful because,
totally.
yeah, and because my professor, because we had someone who was like guiding us, and the professor, he said you really found something special, and
Wow.
I was like, oh yeah,
With
and
the
also
music,
like,
well, you're talking about the musicality.
yeah, the
Wow.
musicality tool that was my final graduating project for my master's, and that one was actually, and I'm sure of it. That's because I did a lot of testing with it. I'm actually made it. it was working. It was a working model. I still have it. I still have it somewhere deep in my, here in my attic. And that tool, that was, yeah, Dosha actually tested it. I tested it on my whole crew because my crew that I came back after the education, I came back, I'm sort of a jump forward, leaping forward in time. And because restarted my dancing after 3 years of, doing my bachelor's.
Mm.
And then I did this graduation project. And then I got everybody from my crew, which was a different crew. It's not the True Skills crew, it's the Head to Toe crew. Shout out to my toe crew, by the way. And they were like, we had a hip hop dancer, we had a locking dancer, myself popping, and house dancers. So, and of course b-boys. And I tested on all those styles, except for b-boy because it was too dangerous because those wearables, they might break. But I tested on all the stand-up styles, and it worked beyond my expectations. I didn't know that was that strong, and I've seen so many products after that coming, like wearables, kind of musicality tools, music producing tools, all kind of, and I've never seen anything like came up with. But yeah, yeah,
Wow. A tool for musicality for dancers.
yeah. That was literally my purpose, my intention to create like a feedback tool for dancers that you can somehow hear your musicality in real time while you're dancing. Of course, you can record it and you can also, play it back. So you can also use it in retrospect. But it was meant to be for, for a live thing. And then the effect of it was so strong that a lot of people told me you can use this in theater settings and become, and yeah, really emphasize. So basically, the thing that I created make other people really easily able to hear what you are doing with the music. That's what I did. That's what a tool was, and it was, yeah. I have so many videos of it too, like recordings that I did for testing it and trial running it, and I wrote a whole a graduation script. What
Wow.
is it? Like a report, which took me longer than an actual project because I wasn't good at writing, typing.
Okay.
So, and then eventually I was able to put it into words, and then, yeah. So I still have that somewhere here lying around. Oh, actually, maybe. Oh no, it's not right here. I cannot find it right here. I need to dig it up.
Oh,
But yeah,
wow.
it's
I have there's so many thoughts now, from hearing this. I guess, oh wow, so many thoughts I have. Um, wow. Okay. A thought I'd like to ask you is the fact that you're able to, again, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm not understanding clearly, but you're able to collect data on a dancer's musicality. Is that correct statement to make?
yeah, yeah. There was definitely data, and but it was directly manipulating a certain parameter in the music. That's what I did to really so directly. So instead of like, yeah, of course, I was measuring a certain parameter in physicality, some physical input, and then I mapped that. It's called interaction mapping. So you map one modality to another modality and to in the music. So I was capturing one certain modality in physical movement and connecting that to another modality in music. And that really worked so well that I couldn't believe what I was literally like blown away. I was like, whoa, I thought, oh, I came up with the idea literally laying in bed, and and then I just, popped up in my head because something, some inspirational events that happened before that. And then all of a sudden things came together in my mind, and I thought, okay, maybe this can work. And then I thought, okay, let me just try it for this graduation project. And then I put it together, I tested it, and I was like, what the hell is working way beyond my expectations at that point.
So do you now
Yeah,
this makes me then wonder is could you then capture other characteristics of a dancer? If you can capture the musicality, could you capture other qualities?
of
And then
course.
this makes me then go to the this makes sense of why you've created a judging system, or at least the connection, your background, hearing what you've created now makes gives more understanding of your judging system. And this makes me then wonder like what tools could be created for the future of dance contests? Like, how much can
Right.
you, like, right? That's what it's sounding like. Because, again, I see a lot of, most of the time, it's either you just point or you have the audience, like I've seen in Red Bull, where they have, I guess the audience will pick a color and they show, okay, which more colors, but it's interesting to hear different and I want to go into also this judging system you've created. Like, yeah, these are the thoughts that are just coming when I'm hearing,
Thank you. No, definitely. There's so much to be able to, in the realm of, creativity that we can, explore for as in new ways, merge technology and inject technology into with dance. I think it's we just literally scratching the very tip,
right.
very, very little tip of the iceberg, I'm merging two sayings right now. But yeah, so I started actually my interest for creating stuff. It started when I was a kid. My dad is like a technological guy. I just want to give you a little bit background story
Okay.
because I was my dad was always inspiring me with technology from a
Nice.
young age. I think I remember the very first time we was in a park, and I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old. I was really young, and these like little helicopters. I don't like like this things that comes from the trees, but it's like a little
Yes, there's the
seed
leaf.
and a little
Right.
thing,
Yeah.
right? Like this thing, this little leaf, whatever you want to call it, seed. It was coming down because it was autumn, and then my dad said, "Yes, this is how helicopters were inspired, like to be, like people came up looking at nature and creating stuff."
Yes.
And then this makes me one of the very first dreams as a kid. I mean, it was actually the second dream, but the very one of the first ones was to become an inventor. I really wanted to be an inventor of some sort,
Mm,
and yeah, and this actually came true. So I yeah, so I became, I mean, to some degree, I became that. And then, and to flash forward is about the judging system. Yeah, so I graduated. After my graduation, I did so many projects, and it really, it really taught me so much, this education. It really, yeah, it was very self-didactic, so I had to do a lot of things myself, learn it myself. But of course, the university, they provided a whole platform to
right.
support you with experts, and and
Nice.
even the clients and everything.
Right.
And but after graduation, I kind of fell into like a black hole. I was like, the market was really bad at that point, and I couldn't get a job. And because of the education that I was doing, which was kind of like an all-rounders education, you become educated as an all-round skilled person.
Right.
So, but the market is really what at that time they were looking for specialists. Like someone who's really specialized in only electronics, only programming, only mechanics, whatever, right? So, and because we were, as industrial designers, we were very around, educated. You had either you needed like a way into companies, like you already did a internship or someone recommended you,
Right.
or you needed that specialism. So I didn't have that, so I couldn't get a job. I just applied for some, I couldn't find a job,
Mm,
and so, but I was already dancing at the time, and I won some battles in the Netherlands. And in the Netherlands at that time, there was the Dutch Breaking Championship, originally it was called the Dutch B-Boy Championship,
Mm.
and that had a popping category, and they called it the Dutch Championship. And I was able to win that quite some time,
Mm.
and like in total, I won it 5 times, and
Oh,
it gave me a name, like in the Netherlands, in the Dutch
yes,
scene. And also, I did a lot of other battles, and all
yes.
of a sudden I got asked to teach left and right. So
Mm.
and I was like, oh, everywhere, yo, can you teach? And then I started teaching more and more and getting into teaching workshops at high schools, and
Nice.
this became a good, you know um like a support net for me to at least earn some money,
Yes.
and start, earn a living from it.
Right,
So
right.
before I knew, I kind of dropped, my pursuit to work as an industrial designer, and then
Right.
I just became a dancer, and then I did all kind of jobs and
Wow.
also performances, a little bit theater. But in 2012, so I graduated the end of 2009, and in 2012, my guy Nick Tra, which is the I would say the leader of Ruggeds.
Okay.
He was one of the, yeah, I would definitely the leader person in that crew. He was doing a battle in South Korea, and it's called R16. It's quite a big,
Ah, yes, I have heard of that.
famous event, and he was participating in that battle, and he lost. And there was a judging system used there by created by the another brother. His name is Dizzy from Supernatural Cruise,
Huh.
from Canada, right?
Okay.
And maybe you know him. And he created the hour system, which is the OUR system, which is, at that time, he was actually, I think he's the first guy. Maybe there were others, but he's definitely the first guy that really pushed it more to a, more to a next level, a judging system. So, and he tried to get it off the ground in, I think, Canada and US, but I think, but don't ask me, but I don't know the full story. But I think it didn't work eventually, but he brought it to Korea, and then he was able to develop it. I don't know if it's was in Korea, because initially it was just a pen and paper manual judging system, and then he made a digital version out of it, and he
So,
created it actually. Yeah,
so before the OUR system, it was events were using pen, paper, and pencil.
with his still the same algorithm underneath, still the same format that he came up with for this hour system. I don't know if you ever heard about the hour system.
No, I'm not familiar with the
Okay.
with judging systems besides the ones that I mentioned. So I'm curious to know what is also what do you know of the history of judging systems for dance event? I'm curious.
Yeah. Yes. So that, from what I know, and also I don't think I know everything, but I
Hmm.
think a lot of people have probably attempted to create something. I cannot imagine otherwise. But
Right.
of course, first it was just on pen and paper. There was no automation. There was no digitalization of any sort. And but from my awareness is Dizzy. He was the first person to create actual, a working version for this. And he told me he already started in 1999 or 98, I forgot, but with the manual version, and then just doing a lot of events. And his system, teach just to not teach, just to explain to you really fast,
Yeah.
is he divided the, looking at a battle by giving specialized judges. So you have 5 judges in his format, and every judge look at a specific category, specific criteria,
Right.
right? So, and then I think, I don't know for sure, but it was foundation, musicality, uh, battle, which is, interaction with your opponent, and technique and execution. I think these were the five, but please don't shoot me down if I,
Okay.
I'm a little bit off.
Right.
But anyways, just to give you a picture that, and then every judge only judge for their specialty, like
Interesting. Okay.
looking at that specific,
Right.
narrow
Right.
uh, part of the dance, and
Yeah.
then yeah, and this is what he created, also the judging system, and Nick, or Just Do It, his previous nickname, but now he dropped that nickname. Anyway, this my friend from from the Ruggeds,
Mm.
he participated in a battle with that system and he lost, and he didn't agree.
Oh, okay.
He was like, "Wait a minute, I shouldn't lose," and he felt that the system was flawed, and he felt
Oh,
that the system had some like
right.
things that could need improvement, or
Improvement. You're right. The
yeah,
accuracy.
right,
Not 100%
yeah.
accurate always.
Exactly. So definitely, it's not a criteria to his system. Anyway, I think it's amazing. Some people try. We need people to try, and we need trial and error to
Right. Its
find a
systems
better
get
way.
better. Better systems.
Exactly.
Technology gets
Exactly.
better. Right.
Exactly. And actually, because of that, the system existed. That's why Nick came back and he knew that I had a background as an engineer. And he was like, "Yo, Jing, I have another idea. Can you maybe make this?" And because of the frustration that was, that he experienced doing that battle, losing it, he was motivated,
Wow.
inspired, and he said, "Yo, Jane, I have another idea." And it was a really simple idea, which was a round for round judging system combined with a best of format that you also see in tennis and whatnot, like in
Wow.
sports. And then he said, "Yo, Jane, can you create this?" I'm like, sure. So, I was literally at that point, I didn't do anything with my, engineer
Right.
background. I was just teaching and dancing and,
Yeah.
doing battles. And I was like, kind of, my hands were itchy. I was like, I want to, I
Yeah.
loved
Yeah.
it. I was obsessed with making stuff. And I
Nice.
was like, whoa, okay, yeah, of course, let's go. So literally in 2 weeks' time, I started soldering, and I started creating. I actually have one of them here. I'm gonna get them real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, wow.
this was one of the first. Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
No worries. No
this
worries.
is the second prototype actually already. This is the second one. I created this
Wow.
one, but this is the second one. I have an older version, and yeah, and I created it within 2 weeks. I remember literally working on it day and night. And then there was this battle because there was a deadline. So, and he wanted to use it, and then
Yeah.
he wanted to, implement and actually give it a, run. So, and then we created it. So, yeah, I mean, I created it, but with his input of the idea together with my stepfather. My stepfather is a coder, and I mean, I could code, but not I was not a specialist in coding, so I asked my stepfather to
Yeah.
help me with coding, and then we created it, which was again it was a round for round judging system. So you have two people, this person danced, this person, and by comparison, you made a vote left or right and giving winning points. Like if the first side win, you saw battle back, right? It's exactly that format, and yeah, so we did it, and we applied it at an event called Break Junkies, which is kind of a local Dutch 2-on-2 b-boy breaking battle, right? And at this battle, it was really dope battle, by the way. It's really like underground, organized by the crew, the Ruggeds, and and then this was the first time it came into fruition, right? Like into practice, and I was like, whoa! And like it worked first of all, and then the first few battles were like, whoa, it works. The format is totally working. But I remember like the third or the fourth or fifth battle, I don't remember exactly. It was 2-on-2, and it was best of five. So we, on top of the round for round judging, we added another format slash algorithm, which is to win the battle within 5 rounds, to get the majority of points within
Right.
5 rounds. And with that, we saw this battle. So the few first battle, it was like 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, like this. And then it was very obvious one side was better than the other. But I think the fifth or around the fifth battle, there was this one match up that was very like tight, like both crews, both duos were high level and really, really face to face, right? And on the same level. And that was like 1-0, 2-0, and that was 1-2, 2-2, and eventually 3-2. They won. So
Okay.
the crew that was behind in points, they caught up and they
Okay.
won the battle. And this battle, literally, it got overhyped. It was exploding. It was literally like the whole event went berserk. And this, we never saw this happen. We never expected it because our incentive, our intention creating this judging system is to alleviate the focus and the memory of the judge, because a lot of the battles, judges, they judge and they forget what was done in the first round. But if you judge round for round, you don't need to. You can get the
You're
first.
not bringing in the past to judge the present. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, kind of, right, kind of. So basically, you just judge a moment and then you go to
You
the next
erase the
moment.
moment.
Yes, and then you go to the next moment, right? And this was the reason that we developed the judging system to bring about a little bit more of like of a support for judges, and also to bring some structure. You can see like a pattern, right? But we never expected that it's gonna have this crowd anticipation and this crowd involvement and this yeah, this audience, there's kind of an audience effect to it. And this was kind of like we were blown away by it because we didn't make it for that reason. And then it came with that as a byproduct that took over the whole system because after that, we did a lot of
Everybody.
events. They wanted to have that effect, and then a lot of breaking event. And now you see it in Olympics because it came from us, literally. We were the first one that developed the one from round judging system,
Okay.
and then other developers, run with it too, and now I
Wow.
have a lot of competition. So the whole market, like now there is like, and only Europe there are at least 5 or 6 other developers. In China is also more coming up because I go to China a lot too, and I'm pushing the system there too. And I'm sorry, I'm jumping very far ahead now, but just to let you know, before that, time, judging system was never really a thing because people didn't really believe in it, that it could actually have bring some value. And almost there was this feeling of you don't want technology to interfere with the authenticity of our culture, right? So you
Okay,
don't want
right.
to have that pollution or whatever, right?
Right.
But in my opinion, if it's not well designed, of course you're going to pollute it. But if you design it well and you are very responsible with your endeavor, with whatever you are creating, and you can bring some value, it's going to definitely going to have, you know, added added value. So
It's gonna help the human.
yeah,
It's gonna support the vision, what we're trying to do. We want to
exactly.
judge an
So
event, and we want to be able to had more, remove more bias, make it more
yeah,
accurate that we're seeing, and that's what the
bring
tool is
more
for.
transparency, bring more consistency, bring more responsibility, like bring more, like awareness that you can just, that it can start to learn from itself, that
Okay.
the culture can start to become self-aware as a whole.
Yeah.
And these kind of tools can help us with that. But yeah, so that was the very first initial prototype, and we just made a very simple visualization on the screen, just seeing the 3 judges boxes, and you see points like 1-0, 2-0. And this one, yeah, it just totally took off, and it just like, and then there's this World Series in Disputed, and they a b-boy event, and they said, yo, we want to have a system. And I presented the system, and also Dizzy was at the same meeting, and he also presented his system. And then they they picked the Kozen system. So, and then we did so many events, like literally I did freestyle session. Also, I did
Oh,
Rebel
wow.
BC1. We did, yeah, so many big events around the world. And that's when I started traveling with the system. And then, but I was still dancing at the same time and teaching when I came back. So I didn't go fully for only that. So I was literally juggling between different things. And yeah, so and then yeah, since then I've done almost, I think, already more, but I lost count exactly, more than around 400 events since
Wow.
2012. And yeah, and just running all over the place. And since then I of course developed a lot more new tools, a pre-selection system, a different format, round robin, different tournament settings, also different customizations to the whole look and feel of how it looks on the screens. Because I'm
Wow.
already on the screens, a lot of organizers say, "Yo, can you also make this look good? Can you make the background animated? Can you make the
Yeah.
logo animated? Can you play a video?" So because of these requests and demand, I listened to that very well, and I felt, yeah, and I could feel the pain points of a lot of different organizers because they all run into the same kind of issues. And then I just came, starting to develop this as a business more. And then I became, yeah, I just did a lot of different, and now the way how I do the events is very customized. So every time, every organization, every event, I fully customize the whole tool, different tools, actually selection of tools to cater to their wishes, demand to,
Can you
yeah.
give me an
So
example of that? Of what would be an example that an event, what is someone, what's a question an event organizer may ask you when it comes to your system, and how do you customize it?
yeah, so for example, I have a pre-selection tool, and there's so many examples I can give, but just to give you one, and they say, "Yo, basically it's a scoring system. You score dancers, and then he said, okay, can you also put a timer, countdown timer on the screen, because
Oh,
then the MC don't need to do it manually. This is
right.
one." Then
Right.
I figure out how can I make a timer countdown, which is not crazy difficult, and so I did that. And also another guy asked me because he saw another judging system that did it, which is, so I don't want to take credits for that. He said, "Yo, can you make the judging transparent? So basically, that you
So
can
people
directly
can see.
see on the
Mhm.
screen how much points you got collectively from the judges,
Mm.
and also how far you are like ranked." So it's a live ranking, right? A live
Oh,
ranking system.
okay.
Another system that came later after me did this, and another organizer saw that, and they worked with me, and they said, "Can you also create that?" I'm like, "Sure, it's easy because I
Wow.
already have the system. I only need to make it visual."
Right.
So I mean, make it visible. That's what I mean.
Wow.
And yeah, so this is another example, and also with the battle screens. Oh, can you put the country flags, because we like to see what the countries that the dancers are represented, and as an
Yeah.
organizer, we like to show off, how many dancers from different countries are joining our event, right? And there's another action. They want to some event. They want to use photos. I'm like, okay, sure. Okay, then we create photos, right? And some events they said we want to have the photos facing each other. Like the dancers, like almost like a Street Fighter kind of versus screen.
Yes.
And
Wow.
then I created that. So there's so many endless requests, literally endless,
Wow.
that every event want a little bit different, and another event they want it more on the algorithm side. They said that we want to have a different judging system with, like I collaborated with the guy Dizzy with the hour system, because he said he saw that I was able to build stuff more better, right, than what he was trying to do. And then he said, can you integrate the hour format, the hour system algorithm into your system? So I did that too. So
Wow.
I integrated, basically that, the five criteria that he had, but I made it into like uh, how do you say, a tug of war kind of
Hmm.
interface. So you see these five dots kind of, and every five symbols, icons for representing every one of those
Yeah.
criterias, and you see whenever the judge was voting for this one, it's get pulled on that side, and it goes that back and forth. So you see this back and forth going of these symbols to left and right, and if it surpasses the middle line, then you see like three on this side and two on this side, then you know the score is 3-2, kind of, right?
Oh, wow.
So this
Okay.
is just to give you an example of how we made, you know, just one version of how to showcase his format better, right? So,
Yeah.
and also, I don't know if you know the Book of Styles system from
Yeah,
Future.
I'm not familiar with the style, but the event. But what's the style? Tell me about the way
Oh, the
they.
Book of Styles, he made this book. I mean, I made it for him for
Okay,
Future,
I
like this
gotta.
interface, and you see these pages flying out, and then Book of Styles
I
with
wonder if I
mixing
can set
different
up right
formats.
now. I wonder if I could bring that. Can I? No, I can't.
No,
Okay.
it's okay.
Okay. Okay. So you made the image where the book opens up the character. Wow.
Yeah, and mixing different styles because that was the thing from Book of Styles on Future, right? You want to mix cutting with rolls or with a cane, dancing with a cane or a
Right.
chair, and then you need to do these exercises for his events, like which is super dope, by the way. So shout out to Future. And yeah, so that's another tool that I developed. Sorry, I'm jumping, but
No.
this is just to come back to your question, to give an example of how to customize, right? And I think,
Mhm.
and yeah, and it takes a lot of effort because it's more easy to create a business with one format, one template, and it fits
Right.
all, and
Right.
then you can just scale it in a business and you just sell it.
I
But
see.
actually, I love to create more stuff. So to be honest, I'm not. No, I'm just. I can admit, I'm not the best business guy. I'm more of
Okay.
an entrepreneurial mindset. So I feel the difference between an entrepreneur and a business guy. Entrepreneur is more a little bit leaning towards the exploring and leaning to, like creating stuff and coming up with new ideas. And the business side, of course, you're able to sell it much better.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
so yeah, and I learned a lot on the business side. I got to tell you, by running into all sort of challenges,
Mm,
is literally too much to name. But yeah, and that side I'm developing too, but it's not natural to me. I just love creating stuff. That's the essence
right.
of who I am. And even with dance, to
Mm,
to 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 segue back to dance, I love creating new stuff. I just love creating and merging different styles, and that's what I love. And if it's physical on my own body, like with dance, or actually using technology,
mhm.
or an event like Planet Popping, anything, creating something from nothing. That's the main underlaying essence of everything.
Oh,
Just
wow.
creating stuff. That's the love. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's it's really cool to see how you, like you said, the essence is creating and how you express that through creating systems, like you said, ways of interacting, the human interacting with a system, a product, um, and also your dance. It's really cool to see the
Thank
crossing
you.
of those two the sides. You mentioned Planet Popping. That is an event that you have created.
Not only me, so definitely I want to give credits to Delphine Day Day Nguyen. I don't know if you know her, Day Day.
Oh
Um,
yes, yeah, Popper,
yeah,
very well known.
very
Yeah,
well known, very
yeah.
well known. We started it together in 2018, and by a festival in Eindhoven called E Moves, and standing for Eindhoven,
Okay.
and Moves for all the different disciplines that they supported. And they knew that I was a pauper, she was a pauper. She was at that time still living in the Netherlands. She
Hmm.
was living in Eindhoven, even specifically. And they said, yo, and she is like, from a world level, right? I mean, very well known. And I was more, I was known by a lot of poppers, but I was still kind of an underground guy,
Okay.
still, you know, worldwide. But in the Netherlands, I was, you know, known in the Netherlands. So together, we had a very good connection. And then they asked, you, can you organize something? And then we thought, like, yeah, let's go. And there was a really nice budget. And then we was kind of like, yeah, lucky. We are really lucky with a really, really good budget. And then we could just be very, you know, we could just go all out, and we invited all the big names and to come to our event. And the very first edition was crazy good because a lot of people still talking about it when I went into people. We we did we did a whole online campaign. It was called Dance Like a Robot. Maybe you saw it.
Okay.
It was quite, you know, it was quite hyped. And it was and we didn't come up with that idea by ourselves. The person who came up with it was is called Tyrone from the Mayor, who is the organizer of IBE, International
Oh,
Breaking Event,
okay.
in Eindhoven. Oh, sorry, in Netherlands, in Heerlen, but originally from Rotterdam. He came up with that idea, and he said, "Yo, you guys should do this." He came up. He's a very creative guy. He's very, very, yeah, and very into culture, a very cultural guy, and understands, you know, the culture very well. And he said, if you would do, you know, he said, popping is so, it's so, people don't get it, you know, but everybody understand robot. Everybody understand robot. So
Uh,
he says, you should sell it, you know, kind of sell it, kind of promote it as such, you know, and using that as a leeway, right? Like a way in.
okay.
So, and then he said, yeah, if you do a dance like a robot contest online, and then eventually on the day, you know, whatever, you bring it together. So then we did a really big Dance Like Robot campaign, and we really pushed it. I came up with the idea at the same time. It was a water bucket challenge. So I thought, hey, that's a good idea, the water bucket challenge. And I came up and I thought, hey, what if we combine it with the Dance Like a Robot? So we said, okay, you know, do a Dance Like a Robot video. So basically, you film yourself doing the robot, and you need to tag three other dancers to let them also dance like a robot, right? And this became this like snowball effect, this cascades, right? That's really blows up, and yeah, and that really took off like a rocket. There was like so many participants all over the world. I think
Wow.
around 300 or something all over the world
Wow.
was like people sending in videos. And then there was one winner. His, his name is Mr. Robot from Korea. Maybe you know
Oh,
him.
okay. Yes, yes.
Really, yeah, really dope dancer. He was the winner, so we took him. You know, we flew him over to Eindhoven from South Korea to be, you know, to do the opening show act for, you know, Planet Popping
Oh,
2018. And then
oh,
and
okay.
also we had a real live robot. So we had a literally like a real robot that was like a mechanical robot, like this metal artist, like some guy who just uses metal to create all kind of crazy stuff. And he created like a real life robot, super dope. I can show you one time, but there were some pictures on our page, and that it was remote control. So someone could
Oh,
go into a robot like a really like a, you know, like a costume kind of,
yeah.
and then it was linked to the real robot. So whatever you do and you look left and the robot look left. When you go
What
arm up, arm goes up. Yeah.
is this
So
video? Where can I find this?
I don't think it's a video. I have videos. I can send it to you
I would
after if you want
love
to.
to see that.
I
Yeah.
can show you the after. But yeah, this robot, it was huge, it was massive, and it was looking so dope. And people were like, all the poppers yeah, you know, they went crazy. They were like,
Yeah.
what? You know, and they all started making videos with it during the event. And also, oh yeah, also I made a little grid, like a LED grid. I put it, it was not on a robot, but I created myself because I'm, you know, I could do some stuff with electronics. So I put a little LED grid on the mouth, and it goes like like it lights up like a mouth. And I linked that LED grid to the microphone. And DJ Renegade, I don't know if you know him from the
Yes.
UK.
Okay.
He was one of our guests, and we put him as a second MC. So we had a real life MC, and then we linked his voice to the robot, and we put a vocoder on his voice, so it sounds like robot, robotic. So we
Yes.
had like a robot MC and a real life MC, like
Wow. That's
co-hosting the
it.
event.
That's some futuristic Star Trek vibes.
Yeah,
That's like some Star
yeah.
Wars. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so that was just another way to showcase, because Eindhoven, my city, is very famous for technology. Like
Oh.
ASML, I don't know if you know the company ASML, they produce these little chips. It's a
Oh.
spin-off company from Philips. This whole city is built, is like very famous because of Philips.
Wow.
Philips the brand, right? The
Okay.
TV and stuff. It came from this city, and this city literally, attracted so many workers because of this
Wow.
company.
Okay.
It's literally seen of like almost like the Silicon Valley of Europe, the Eindhoven. It's really
Wow. Okay.
growing. I don't know if you know Eindhoven, but you could look it up later.
No, I would
But
love
it's
to. I'd love to
yeah,
check this. Okay.
yeah. So that's why, technology is very much the character, of
Mm,
the city. So that's why we were lucky, because there was a technology budget that we could use
I
to
see.
get this robot, because the robot was 2,000 euro a day to rent, you know.
2,000 euros a day to rent. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
because excluding tax. So it was expensive, and we could never afford it without this special budget, that we were able to on. So everything came together, the Dance Like a Robot online campaign, and
Yes.
then actually the real event, and then of course, V2 popping battle with the best of with Kozen influence. So I put everything into this event. Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. That's really incredible to hear. Where would you say currently, where is there any work or any projects that you are currently working on when it comes to, Kozen, your own dance journey, future ideas that you're working on? Where are you currently, and what does the future look like, you would say, for you?
Yeah, so dancing wise, I just try to keep up. I just,
Mhm.
even because I'm traveling a lot with Kozen, and my dancing definitely went down because I just so preoccupied with the work. And so, but I just try to, maintain my dancing as much as I can, and definitely, just and also, like you said, the urban lab, the Eindhoven community. So definitely at least one time a week I go to their community area and practice and teach, and
Oh,
also, give to other next generation dancers locally. And then actually 2 days a week. So Monday and Friday, I always do that. And Friday is not no teaching, but just open practice. And we host it ourselves. And then, we share and everything. So this is just dancing wise. It's more on a it's not like before I used to dance daily, and but now at least 2 times I try to. And of course, when I'm home, I always it's one of my first go to when I'm like in a little break time. I always dance. But yeah, yeah, it's one of my biggest distractions too. When I put
dancing.
music on,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. When I'm working, but I put music on when I'm working, and then it just distracts me, and I start dancing
nice.
before I know I'm dancing instead of working. So,
Yes.
so sometimes I just don't put music because it just gets me too easily into dance. But
Right. It gets you in
anyway,
that like it's almost like hypnotizing a trance. Like you kind of
yeah.
back into, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's what that is. Pen and Poppin is kind of actually on a break at the moment because Day Day, she stopped organizing Pen and Popping, and we are still talking what to do with the brand. And right now we are not sure. So this is we're still talking. And 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 Kozen is actually my most, yeah, the where my most of my attention and focus is at the moment. Yeah. So
Okay.
definitely I'm focusing on Kozen. I'm really trying to focus on actually scale it up because my bottleneck has been the fact that I'm able to do this all by myself. It's also kind of the downfall of it because now it's really only I can do it and I am not. So sometimes like really the craziest moments that I had like 4 events in the same weekend, like
Oh.
some in different countries and different locations. So I created multiple of these controllers and I have multiple laptops. And then I literally need to train 3 operators to operate at 3 different events, and I got to operate another. So a total of 4 events. This is one of the most craziest. It's not happening a lot, but at a top moment that I had a lot of events, and that's really difficult. I can tell you, it's really, really, really complex, and because the system is very customized, it's really difficult to train somebody.
Mm.
So it's very, and that's the downfall of it. So now I'm trying to step by step see where I can create more and more automation, more and simplify it a lot more
Uh,
both in the pre-production of it, so how I can, easily prepare for a battle for an event, and also for the operation side of it, and also for the post-production of it. So this is my current focus, and I have multiple strategies to do this, and yeah. So this is my current endeavor, but and dancing wise I just try to keep up. I try to still I love dancing. I just love creating stuff, and that's in a nutshell where I am now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And I imagine like it would be it would be pretty cool one day where people can purchase your system and they have it delivered to them and they open the box and it has the instructions. It's easy to use and that would be such a fascinating thing to see. Like you said, it's easy for the person to learn how to operate it. And I really am interested in again how as technology advances, how that will shape the dance community. So,
it's
wow.
it's literally, I think, we can go so many directions with it, and definitely on all the levels, on the battle side, but also on the theoretical side, the showcase, how to, you can also use so many things to create it, to make it more, um, more educational as well as entertaining,
Mhm.
as well as more fair, like competitioning. Like, so on the 3 levels, the way I look at it, I would like to, put my 2 cents in to really really push that directions to get those 3 elements, because I think competition is really good. I mean, but it can be very because I noticed like a lot of battles also it can be, if it's not applied well, it can have negative effects on the culture. Like, for instance, I don't like the idea of winner take all. For instance, like the zero-sum game, right? Like only one guy takes all the. It's really very sporty, and I
Oh, I
think,
see. Okay.
right.
Okay.
So and I think, just even with, with our event planet popping, we don't give only the winner the prize money. We give everybody from the top 8, and I collaborated once with Future, and even the people who simply pass the pre-selection, we already give them like 1 week trial on the website of, Funkin Focus, that they can follow these tutorials. So it's a
Nice.
win-win situation. So it's good for
Yeah.
Future. He can get new clients and but also it's good for the dancers. They can learn, they can see these tutorials, and
Right.
but this is just to give you an idea, the fact that I really like to, I hope to see that grow too. Like we as organizers, we see the importance of not only make it too competitional, but I don't want to say there's not it- it's a very broad word, right? How can you use it? How can you make it in a way that is healthier for the community? That's maybe the
Yes,
word.
that's
You
right,
know,
right.
how to give back more, how to be able to
Yes.
see, okay, how can we benefit everybody instead of just the winner? Just only one. There's nobody kind of leaves the event feeling empty-handed.
Yeah.
Everybody goes home with something, and that's really, I think, on the competition level, but also educational, and also entertaining. So those three things, if we can merge those three, almost like one, like a cock that goes into, and
Yes.
those three are seamlessly working as a holistic thing, that will be, I think, really amazing that we can, make that come together. And this is what I want to, yeah, really want to help in pursuing, and, be able
Wow.
to dedicate to that. Yeah. And Kozen is one perspective to that. But yeah, but events with Planet Popping, I try to work on those other elements because I do believe organizers have a really big job, really important job. There's not always, organizers are always somehow in the background. People don't really know them, and you don't really see how much work and how much stress comes with it, and how
Yeah.
much crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I think actually that could be, we could I don't know. I feel like if we would, spotlight that more, or somehow, not necessarily to give that attention, but just to learn from organizers, I think it can be very educational for even, the everyday dancer. Everybody, they can learn and they can understand how this, all the different layers to this culture, and all the in the community, right? And
Right.
I do believe that organizers, we have a really big responsibility to bring to the culture, because if we organize an event a certain way, it's gonna, it's gonna, how do you say it? It's gonna, um, um, cannot find the right word, but it's gonna dictate, how the certain things become to be. And if we
Right.
make a certain wrong choice, or certain choice that is not very well thought, not thought, thought through, and not considered enough to the dancers, then everybody, it affects everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I do believe we have a big responsibility, and yeah, so that definitely, I think we should. I think I would. I think that could be super, super healthy to somehow showcase what the different visions are from organizers.
Wow.
Imagine that we just have only videos about organizers talking about the events, and people just can tune in and just to learn from their vision and their ideas and how they work, right? And then, but yeah, that's a whole different idea, of course. But I do believe that could be very, yeah, very beneficial. I feel for the culture, but
Yeah.
but
So
yeah.
do you see something like event organizers sharing their process with the public and learning about, is that what you're saying? Like through videos or uh-huh. Okay.
I think that can be very interesting, but also it's very tricky to do, because some things, as an organizer, you are literally juggling, and you are like figuring out stuff. You are,
Right.
and some things, like for me, like transparency. I believe in transparency. I really believe in it, but also it has a challenge to it, because some things, if you are not conscious enough about certain things and you already showcase it to the world, it can be shut too fast. So I
Mm.
think transparency is a tricky thing. I haven't fully, figured it out yet, but I
Mm.
feel it needs first before you can be transparent, before you can be consciously transparent with it without people misinterpreting stuff, before people taking the wrong assumptions, because some things we showcase it. Let's say you're organizing something and you make a big mistake while you're organizing, but then you showcase it to everybody, and you never had that bad intention, but then that mistake is getting shut down, and then you maybe you break more than you create, right?
Mm,
You destroy more things than you create.
right.
So I do feel like, yeah, but I do believe we need more transparency. But how can you weigh that out? How can you balance that, and in what proportion and in what format does that
Uh,
work best, and does it bring the best picture to the front, right? And
yes.
to yeah, that's the whole different challenge, I think. But yeah, but I do think something, if we could to do something like that, I do think we can all benefit from it. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. It's great to know that the community, the dance community, has someone as yourself, and I know there's others you've mentioned, but have this intention of, how do I say, raising everyone up, every participant, everyone part of the event. How can everyone really appreciate, enjoy, grow from this experience? Um, yeah, it's really great to see, to hear that you have this intention behind of why you're doing this. What is the reason? How do you decide what kind of system to use? I really am highlighting what you said about the winner taking it all. Like, why not? Why are we focused only on the winner? How can the other, like, these questions are important, and I believe aren't, at least in my experience, aren't talked about much through events and judging. But hearing what you're saying, it's wow, this should be talked about. So yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. No, 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 for sure. I think there's so much in our culture, and we should celebrate everybody. Even the upcoming dancers, they struggle with certain things. What if we can, you know, see what they are struggling with, and everybody can learn from that.
Yeah.
I don't think we should only learn from, the best, which we totally should also, definitely, but why not from everybody? Because everybody has something to bring. And, but yeah, so I do definitely believe there's so much we can do
Mm,
as a community and as individuals, that we can put to the front.
right.
And yeah, definitely from organization part is really important. But these systems that I do with Kozen, uh, definitely I think there's so much more. And I have like literally tons of ideas that I want to keep on developing.
Yeah.
And but yeah, yeah, it's a step by step process. It's my ideas are already maybe 10 years ahead, but in reality, it's goes slow because it's literally sometimes you take 3 steps forward, 4 steps back, like this, and
Yes.
it's really difficult sometimes to get some things working, and so many like things bugging or things, like all kind of challenges, but it's the way forward. So just keep on pushing. And but right now I'm a lot in China and Asia, and I
Okay.
found some collaborators that I'm gonna try to work with, and
Oh,
that's gonna be very interesting for me because then I can find a team of people that that we can go more strong and for more fast, because China goes crazy fast at the moment with
wow.
everything,
Okay.
and technology wise, and just anything actually.
Wow.
China just on another level. So, and there's this one group of media team they call So Nice TV, and I'm working a lot with them,
Hmm.
and they are great, and they are yeah, they are giving me a lot of opportunities, and I'm definitely hoping to yeah, to do more with them, and then
Can
yeah,
you
and
tell me
then
about this channel? What you said is called
So Nice TV.
So Nice
It's
TV.
called So.
What is this channel? What do they promote or share or?
Yeah, the way how I explain to other people, they are kind of, I wouldn't say it's like one-on-one copy, but it's almost like the stance of China, like stance. They do,
Oh, interesting. Or recording events, sharing
yeah,
events that are
yes,
happening. Oh,
yeah. They do actually more. They do a lot. So they do recording. They also do a lot of live streams, and you probably seen tons of videos from them. because
Wow.
they're already active for at least 15 years in China, and they record so many videos for events like Dance Vision, KOD,
Wow.
all the bigger events. And also, they are getting hired by events overseas, like they do Just the Boo live stream in China, for example.
Oh, okay.
Just the Boo hire flies them in, and they do the live stream and they sell it in China like
Wow.
that. And also, and yeah, so a big shout out to them. And yeah, so they also do recap videos. They have, like, I think maybe 30 people or something, 15, I don't know, don't shoot me on the number. But they have quite a lot of people working as camera people, but also just editors. They edit
Wow. Okay.
the after movies, the recap videos, and just any type of videos they do, all the media kind of stuff.
Wow.
And I collaborate a lot with them, because the judging system, sometimes I need to provide an overlay
Mm,
for the scoring system for the live stream, and then we need to have that collaboration. So and that's how I got in touch with them. But this is another way that's really interesting, because live streams and video is so important now for nowadays. For the media part of our culture, is everything is under the loop, right? Everything we look, everything through our phones, and the media has such a big role in all of this.
yeah,
So I do think it's super important. So they become also a very big influential part of the whole culture,
I see.
and because of them, we get to be known, like dancers, right? And by non-dancers. So I do think we need to also, yeah, really appreciate them as as a people, but also as the work that they do. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. Wow. Well, I just have there's only one more question I'd like to ask you, and this
Mhm.
question is for for the people that have been watching, for people that will watch this video in the future, people that are dancers, maybe they're not dancers at all. What's a message you would like to leave for the people watching this video? What is something you would like them to leave with? Oh, from you.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a very big question. Um, I guess, yeah, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I think multiple things, but first thing that comes into mind is, if you believe in this path that I have, and you want to learn from it, or you want to also pursue it, or you also, want to dedicate yourself to either becoming a dancer, becoming an organizer, or
Mm.
developing tools for our community, you know, reach out to me. I would love to, connect with other like-minded people, and to see how we can do, you know, how we can grow together. And or I just want to give whoever would have any of those endeavors to keep an open mind, and to see how you can, you know, how you can give your best, without being, how do you say it, without going under, because sometimes, there are challenges in any of these pathways. Because I just, from my side, I can tell on all three of them, like dancing as well as organizing as well as
Mm.
Kozen, I have been on so many occasions that I felt, oh, I want to give up. I'm like,
Mm.
I'm done. I literally burned out. I think I lost count. I lost count. Like, and I would say, whoever pursues any of these three, try to, stay sane, and try to have um, watch your own health, mental health with it, and also try to, see the positive, focus on the positive side of it. But
Mm.
also, of course, we have so many challenges, and even the negative stuff, you cannot turn a blind eye to it, but definitely try to learn from them, and to get back on the positive as soon as you can. But you cannot ignore some of the negative stuff. So you
Mhm.
definitely need to absorb it. And not like take the good with the bad, right? So
Mhm.
take the bad with the good, and however you want to take it.
Yeah.
But those kind of challenges, I would say, don't let them, take you down. So try to always just basically, I would just say, don't give up.
Don't give
that's
up.
that's to sum it up.
Mhm.
I'm someone who's very loyal. I'm very loyal to everything I did. I'm
Mhm.
doing. I literally I danced since so long. I doing Kozen so long, and I don't give up at all. Like this is something that's not in my books almost,
Mhm.
and sometimes it's not even healthy. I think sometimes I
Oh.
should give up on something, but
Mhm.
then I cannot let it go. But because this is one of my characteristic as a person. I'm very loyal. I just wanna, really commit to something. But yeah, and this is what I wanna give other people to yeah, whatever you believe in, and even if it gets challenging, because nothing is just nothing is only beautiful. There's some things you're just gonna have some things not gonna be as nice, and you're gonna run into stuff that's not always good, but then try to learn from it and try to not give up and see the positive and really do it for the positivity of it. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't I don't know if that helps, but yeah.
Yes, no, thank you so much for, your words and your experience and just your intention, like your heart, you know. It's important. Something I'm really taking away from our conversation was responsibility. You used the word responsibility of what we're doing with any role we have or the technology being responsible for it. And you said loyalty, correct? You're loyal and commitment to what you're doing, what you're working on. So it's again, it's great to know there are people with your intention in the community, people with that intention. Um, it keeps
Appreciate
it
it.
it kind of shines the light onto the future. It's like, oh wow, there's things can get better. We
Oh,
can
you can stop.
grow, you know. Yes. So it's great to know. And also, yeah. If I'm ever around and you ever need a body, I would love to donate myself to
Oh, you got
science.
stuck with.
We
Oh, sorry,
heard
you
me?
got stuck for a second.
Oh,
You.
I was
Oh,
saying if you ever needed a human to be donated to science, I will volunteer if you ever needed. So I know I would be in good hands. But but
honestly, I would definitely love to. I would definitely love to work with you, and definitely, that musicality too. If I'm able to really have some time and get it off the ground, I would love to test it with a lot of dancers from all over.
yeah,
So I think I will do it. At one point, but my first one thing is I want to first get Kozen to more of a steady level. Then I can pursue this kind of project, because
yeah,
this project is more of a, I would say, more of a, I don't know. It feels more of a hobby kind of thing, but I don't. But I think it's more than that. But I feel like I need to do the priority things first. But this is
yeah.
definitely something. Yeah. But definitely, I will let you know. And I would. Yo, thank you again, man. Really, really, really appreciate you. For what you do, and I love to see more interviews from you. I even saw that you were posting someone which OGs you wanted to get interviewed now. Bro, honestly, I would love to see all of them. Like
Mhm.
I think OGs, especially in States, they are so underappreciated. So many people we don't know. So many. I think, only the same OGs always get the highlights, which is totally, well deserved. I don't
Yeah,
want to take anything away from them,
for sure.
totally. But I would love to see some, like the lesser known people, like, so yeah, definitely can't wait to see you, put in that work. So thank you so much, bro. Really,
Yeah.
really great, really great.
Yeah, man.
Thank
Well,
you.
it was a pleasure chatting with you, Jin, and I hope you have a great day, your morning,
Yeah,
hope you, I will enjoy my sleep. So, you know.
yeah. Yo, it doesn't look at night. It looks like very bright, but you have good
Oh,
light.
no, it's
But
because I
yeah.
put it, let me see, I can show you what it looks like outside.
Oh wow. Oh wow. 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 No, okay, definitely right. Yes, I couldn't see that. But definitely. Oh, great. Actually, I think right now there's like freestyle session going on right now in LA, right?
Yeah,
And
there's
also,
probably videos. I probably people posting on Instagram story and stuff.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so
Cool,
that's
man.
the big event, and then a flavor of the year, I believe.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
another,
yeah.
and then so there's a lot of events happening. So
So many, so
yeah,
many. It's
yeah,
happening
yeah, yeah.
lately. Crazy.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
thank you again. And I wish you a good night, good
Yes,
sleep. And
yes,
I hope
sir.
to stay in touch, man. I really hope. And hope to
Yes,
meet you one day
I,
in real
I,
life.
I am putting in more focus on traveling outside of the USA. That's something that I feel I've been more interested in. So I believe I'll be going to Taiwan in the end of January, but I just want to put more energy in traveling. So it would be wonderful to one day go to your city, be in the Netherlands. Um, I mean, again, interviewing all these dancers, I know people in other countries. Now it's just me putting in the work to make the opportunities to go. So I hope we do try meet. I feel in person. It'll be great.
Yeah, yo, really hit me up because you can stay at my home without even any,
Ah, I'm
without even mentioning. There are so many dancers always come over and they stay at my home because like
nice.
literally like so many like even Boogie Frantic, he stay at my home.
Hey.
Aki stayed at my home.
Oh,
Like Hoan JG stayed at my home. Dokyun, like a lot of these
oh,
dancers, they
stop,
come and
Hadouken.
they all stay at my home. They like at
Okay.
one point people even call my house. They call it like for fun. They call it Juice Inn. My nickname is Juice, and they call it
Okay.
Juice Inn, just like
Use
Holiday
in.
Inn. You know,
Nice. I love
just as a
that.
fun because so many dancers. Yo, look, one of the Hotel Jing, one of my
Hotel
homies is
J.
coming out. Yeah,
Nah.
because so many people always stay at my home. It's my really good locking dancer from
Okay.
Netherlands. So, shout out to Toto. He's from my crew, from the same crew,
Okay.
head to toe. And
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
but yeah. So if you ever, bro, if you ever have time and you are in the Netherlands and even close by Belgium or whatever, you need a place to crash. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate, and just reach out.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate
Of
that.
course,
Thank you so much for that. All
of course,
right,
no
man.
problem.
Yes,
Definitely,
sir.
definitely.
All
Thank you,
right.
bro.
Yes, sir. Take care, man. Much
Take
love.
care,
Nah,
brother.
you're a genius, bro. Just letting you know.
Thank you.
You're dope for
Appreciate it.
real. Like dope, genius brain, but also heart. And the together, that's yeah, good stuff, bro. Good stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate it, bro.
All
Appreciate it.
right.
Would love
Take
to meet you in real life and
yeah,
and
man.
jam. You can do some dancing, like, oh yeah, I love
Yeah, all
that.
the what is all this
Oh
stuff
wow,
I'm
wow.
working on.
Oh, you do that stuff? Oh, cool. Whoa.
So anyway, all right.
Wow.
We'll
Amazing,
chat.
crazy. Love that stuff. Thank you,
Take
bro.
care, man. Take
Take
care.
care.